Hi, this is Mike Brown, owner of Death Wish Coffee Company. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast.
I love Jeff, but sweet and high. Whoop, there's so much drama, coffee and spice.
Death Wish Coffee presents Fueled by Deathcast, the world's strongest podcast. With your hosts, the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man.
Welcome, everybody, to another twirling D-Man on Fueled by Deathcast. You know that. You guys are watching us. It is episode 56 for those of you keeping score.
It's a score?
Yeah, we've now scored 56 points.
When do we win?
At 1 million. So stay tuned. As always, I am the incredible Jeff.
And I'm still a little bit dizzy.
As the amazing D-Man. You can find us, and please do find us on social media. I am at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
Let us know what you think of the show and how much fun you're having each week when you tune in and see our lovely faces. It would not be a Fueled by Deathcast if we did not start out by thanking our good friend Brock Powell.
BrockFox.com.
That's right. He is the voice behind all the awesome voices on this show. We're going to switch it up soon, give you a couple new voices. Not anybody else than Brock, but he's going to do some new voices for us.
Really?
We got some new segments. We got some new stuff since we've changed over the format.
Yeah.
So we're going to try some new things.
Hey, we got a mug.
Coming into 2018, yes, we do have a mug.
Speaking about coming into 2018, these mugs are all gone.
All gone.
And these are the 2017 mugs. We are coming out with a new style. Everybody's talking about the hammer.
The hammer.
It looks awesome. Also finalized, just a quick update, are the mug boxes.
Nice.
So those will be new and approved. I can't wait for you guys to see them. You'll start seeing them. Well, I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you share this episode and let us know that you shared it by commenting shared in the
Right in those
comment
comments.
section, you will win this 2017 mug. It's one of the last. There's very few kicking around here.
I
at
literally,
HQ.
and just to let you know, we have a fulfillment center, and we also have Death Wish headquarters where we record this show. And I literally just went out into the warehouse and asked our warehouse manager, where are the 2017 mugs? And he said, you mean the 4 that are on the shelf out there? I said, uh-huh. And he's like, well, those are them. So one of those is now in D-Man's hand. So if you share this episode, like he said, comment, share, you can win one of the last ones ever.
And we'll sign it.
Yeah.
For whatever that's worth.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And this.
Dust and germs right there. So
Be like you're drinking coffee straight out of my mouth.
Yes. We love you guys. We try to give them away a mug every single show, and it's been a lot of fun so far. And the show looks the way it does because of a little company called Black Magic Design. We love all the technology we get to use from Black Magic Design. If you've been following this show, you know that we put it together last year, and we hit the ground running with audio and now video, and all of the video elements are that much better because of the technology we get to use from this company. So love those guys forever, and we're going to be doing a lot more cool stuff this year, so hopefully more tech.
Yeah, more tech, more fun.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
So, this week, if you type in the discount code TOYS, that's TOYS.
You got it.
See, I didn't need Jeff to spell this one for me. That's how easy this one is. Anyways, you'll get 15% off of anything in a capsule or a cup.
Yes.
Like this. So you can get 15% off of our new Nespresso capsules, which are awesome. I drink them all the time.
Oh, yeah. Too
It's
many.
probably why I'm too hyped right now.
Too many.
You can also get 15% off of our Death Cups and Odin Cups, and that's in both 10 count and 50 count.
Yeah.
So
15% off, and you know, toys being the secret code that you type in at checkout there. I figured because if you don't want to drink these and play with them, you can. They're kind of like toys.
That's weird, Jeff.
They're kind of like toys. You can build like little pyramids.
I know you said it to me off pod, but you didn't have to say it on pod.
I did though.
I probably should have told you how stupid that sounded. I'm not a good friend. I should tell him.
Well, the real reason why the secret code is toys and our brand new segment where we're going to give you a tease every single time we do this show of the guest on the podcast. Because if you're not familiar, this is Fueled by Deathcast, the show. That's why you can see us. But every week we do Fueled by Deathcast, the podcast, which features a very special guest every single week. And this week is no different, and it is Brian Volk-Weiss, and he is the president of a company called Comedy Dynamics, which has produced probably some of your favorite one-hour comedy specials out there on Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Comedy Central in the last 20 years.
This dude's the man.
I'm talking working with the likes of Aziz Ansari, Bill Burr, Joey Diaz, Jim Gaffigan, Mark Maron. The list is it's forever. Yeah. The amount of people that
if somebody
he's
wants
with.
to get their comedy special done right, they call up Brian Volk-Weiss. But he also just came out with a Netflix show, which is called The Toys That Made Us.
The Toys That Made Us. And we are so excited about this show. The first 4 episodes right now are on Netflix, and the next 4 are going to be coming out. And we get to talk to Brian all about what it was like to have this idea, because this not only is he the executive producer, this was his idea. This show, it wasn't like Netflix was like, we need a show to do, like he championed this for the last handful of years to try and get this show made, because we live in a very interesting timeline now where if you look back at the 80s or even before that in the 50s and 60s with Barbie and G.I. Joe, toys shaped the type of people we are. There are people out there that got the astronaut G.I. Joe and became an astronaut, or just the regular G.I. Joe and joined the armed forces.
Is there an astronaut G.I. Joe?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Or Barbie. She's had, as you watch in the episode all about the Barbie toys, she's had I think over 140 different jobs. So a little girl back in the 60s might have gotten the boardroom executive Barbie, and now she's the CEO of a company because, she had that toy to play with. It's a very, very interesting way to look at the way toys made us.
But if you haven't watched this on Netflix yet, cue it up, give it a go. It's very, very awesome, very interesting, and very fun the whole way.
Yeah, and like we said, we got to talk to Brian, and we're going to play a short clip from the episode premiering tomorrow.
The Fueled by Death guest.
The first 4 are on Netflix now. They cover Star Wars, Barbie, G.I. Joe, and He-Man. And I was impressed with some of, like you were saying, like being able to talk to the myriad of people that you talk to. Some of the stuff that you guys uncovered, I never knew. And I'm an avid collector of toys and love the history of it and stuff like that. And I did not know that, obviously, not collecting Barbie, but I did not know that Barbie didn't look forward into the 80s. I thought that was really surprising. Another thing I thought was really surprising in the Star Wars episode, when they were talking about how specifically the Ewok line was repurposed for the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves line in the 90s. Like all those toys were just kind of got new stickers slapped on them and a new coat of paint and were just repackaged for that. And the same thing happened to actual Star Wars toys. They took just random toys and slapped a Star Wars sticker on it and repurposed it and resold it. I didn't know that was such a big thing in the toy industry, was this recycling of toys.
Yeah, it's so funny you bring that up. As I said a couple of minutes ago, we made that sales tape that got the show greenlit.
Uh-huh.
And in the meeting where we pitched the show, there were audible gasps from everybody when we showed the Gamorrean Guard became Friar Tuck.
Yeah.
And that is we redid it, of course, in a bigger, fancier way.
Yeah.
But the only thing that literally happened in the sales tape that occurred in the series was that Gamorrean Guard Friar Tuck thing. So I'm so glad you brought that up. But yeah, that literally, like I said, we updated it and made it pretty, but that we did that almost shot for shot. So I'm so glad you brought that up. That's really funny.
Science!
It finally happened, Jeff.
What happened?
Aliens.
Ish.
Yeah. Aliens in LA or something.
Ish.
Right?
Yeah. Welcome to the first science segment of 2018, and obviously, I'm taking you to space, D-Man.
Kind of.
You're
actually, space was taken to us.
correct.
And that's SpaceX, by the way.
Yeah, and let me preface this a little bit. In 2017, there were 29 successful rocket launches into space. That's the highest number of rocket launches since 1999, almost 20 years earlier, when in 1999 there were 31 successful rocket launches. Now, the difference being, in 99, predominantly all of those were government-owned. They were NASA or the European Space Agency.
Right.
That's not the case anymore. Private spaceflight and entrepreneurs started producing spacecraft that would reach outer space and connect to the International Space Station in 2010. And SpaceX, like you mentioned, is the Space Exploration Technologies Corporation. That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
And that was founded in 2002 by Elon Musk. And that's literally the reason behind most of these launches. Out of the 29 successful launches, they did 18 of them this year. And they've been launching their Falcon 9 rocket multiple times because they've developed a rocket that's reusable, can re-land, and that kind of thing, which is incredible. And they just did their last one on December 22nd. And it was another Falcon 9 rocket. This is actually a picture of it right here. And it had 10 satellites on it. 10 different satellites that are going to do 10 different things in space orbiting the Earth.
Right.
Different experiments and that kind of thing. And what's very, very cool about this is that, like I said, they've made headlines not only for their successful rocket launches, but they can now have a rocket that can go up into space, and then the bottom, as you can see right there, can come back and land back on Earth. That's actually landing this rocket, not actually coming back up. Now, the one that the last one they didn't do that. It did not. It was not going to land back on Earth, and that's because it was an older version. They've had it go up to space a bunch of times, so there was no
They were
reason.
retiring the old dog.
Basically retiring.
But the big reason why we're doing this is so when we do more space exploration, talking about colonizing Mars, we can shoot a rocket from Earth and have it land on Mars. But first we have to figure out how to land a rocket, and that's what SpaceX has been spearheading.
Right.
But hey, we saw this pop up on social media because
you've probably seen this picture.
Yeah, it's been when I saw this pop up, it's freaky looking.
Yes.
It's very, you see little things spin off of it. It does not look human. It's nuts.
So if you're not, really into space exploration or following the different blogs that talk about this kind of stuff, or follow SpaceX, like I actually get emails from SpaceX because I'm interested in that, obviously. You probably had no idea that a rocket launch was even happening on December 22nd.
I had no idea, yeah.
Most people in California did not know that, and this type of picture was cropping up all over social media that
night.
A lot
of video and
not only from just people like you or I, like looking out of their window, like late at night, but it went over Hollywood. So tons of celebrities were posting about this. Will Smith, Will.I.am from the Black Eyed Peas was posting about it. All these different people were just like, what the hell? Tony Hawk, what the hell is happening?
It looked crazy. I don't blame them.
And like I said, the info of the launch is easily accessible, and as we've been discussing this, I've been showing you a little bit of the actual launch.
I love it when people are like, no guys, listen, it was SpaceX that launched, and everybody's response was, oh, the government's just saying that to cover up that it was actually aliens. No, they were talking about this launch beforehand. You could have watched it live as it happened.
Yep. And I'm including some of that footage here. But the other thing about that is when I was growing up in the 80s, and even before that, when a space shuttle launch would happen, it was national news. It was international news. In fact, I remember, unfortunately, being, brought into the elementary school cafeteria when the Challenger was launched. And unfortunately, we watched it explode. But that was a normal thing where, a whole school would get together in the auditorium or whatever and watch a launch. Everybody knew about it. It was a big deal. It's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's sad. I think that space exploration is something that isn't as exciting because we live in such a social media age, and I feel like that's something that should change because it's always exciting. Leaving this world and going into outer space is incredible. Every time. I don't care if we've done it a million times. Every time we do it, it's incredible.
I have a couple questions and need to back up a little bit here. So obviously, if SpaceX has had 18 launches, why was this one not only so visible, why was it launched in LA or over Hollywood? Why are we just seeing this now? Why haven't we gone through this 17 times before this?
When a rocket is launched, it has a specific window to launch because it doesn't go and hopefully I think I might have some animation to be able to explain this a little bit too, but it does not go straight up. Right. Don't think about like we're on ground and you have to shoot straight up into the solar system. It's not really the case. Because of the curvature of the Earth and because of the rotation around the sun, you actually shoot it at an angle.
Eat that, flat earthers.
Yeah. And so that specific angle will also denote where the rocket and subsequently its payload, this one had 10 different satellites, where those are going to be released and where the rocket is going to be once it hits the atmosphere. Or outside of the atmosphere. So therefore, it's not uncommon, but it's not always the case that a rocket is launched at night. A lot of times it's during the day, so you wouldn't see this big plume.
Oh, okay.
And it was a little bit of a different angle. That's the whole reason. It was just a little bit of a different angle, so it was a little bit lower in the sky over California, and it was at night. So that afterburn, which is what you're seeing in these photos, that's the afterburn of the rocket, is 100% visible in the sky, and it looks like an alien spacecraft for sure.
It did
sure.
It was creepy.
And
Thank you, Jeff. I feel better.
It made social media crazy about it. But the thing is, and we've talked about this on the show before. Clickbait is a real thing, people, and you need to click past the headline. So many people saw people post photos of this, and then, is it aliens? That news sites were running it, like without doing any fact checking. Now, I'm not saying like the big guys like CNN or something like that.
Don't be a fish on a hook. Don't eat the bait.
Don't eat the bait. Look into what exactly is being posted. But that to be said, aliens had their heyday in 2017 as well. And that's pretty exciting if you really want to think about it.
The government, what was the name of the project?
So the name of the project, the specific project that I'm about to talk about is the Advanced, it's actually literally a project from the U.S. Defense Department, and it's the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. Now, conspiracy theorists forever have been saying aliens are real and the government knows about it because the government has secret programs in place. Now, we haven't proven that aliens are real, but we definitely have proven that there have been secret governments in place. Project Blue Book is real. That the records of that have been shown.
I got lost on there once. That shit's intense.
Both Canada and the UK have released extensive files on their programs detailing UFOs and the look for extraterrestrial life. And now our own Pentagon has done the same. And through 2007 to 2012, they had this program to chronicle UFO sightings, unidentified flying objects. Now, again, a UFO does not have to come from outer space. It is literally what the definition of it is the words that I just said. It is a flying object that you cannot identify.
Yeah, what the fuck is that? It's a UFO.
Exactly. Many UFOs are military planes that are being tested, that people don't know about other than the military.
And it's not necessarily our military every time either.
Exactly. The head of this program, Luis Elizondo, said this is a quote, "My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone." Now, that's the head of the U.S. Department of Defense's program on UFOs. So that's heavy stuff right there.
But his opinion's going to be a little bit biased.
True.
I mean, that's job security there.
No, he's already off the job. He's been off the job since 2012.
Okay.
This is what's coming.
But either way, that's the stuff that makes you hire this guy. If it was like, oh, there's obviously no threat of aliens, this guy wouldn't have had his job.
For sure. And for those of you who might have been taken in by the clickbait of this, because it literally, many headlines were, Pentagon releases evidence on aliens. That's not the case. This is news about the program existing and being common knowledge now. But what they've been kind of looking at is a lot of it's old news. One of the biggest things was a video from a military plane showing a blurb that a blob on their radar that they couldn't explain. That's actually from 2004, and that's been out there. We've seen it.
Yeah.
It's just making headlines again because of this. But what's interesting is they have found things that are documented that now we can, as common people, can look at these documents that even the U.S. Department of Defense is saying we don't know what this is. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
that
it's very
leads
interesting.
to the idea of maybe there is some evidence to support aliens visiting Earth. Maybe, maybe not. But that wasn't the only thing. Also in 2017, the European Space Agency signed off on a $668 million plan for this, which is the Plato mission. This will launch an observatory, and by an observatory, I mean it has 36 telescopes in this thing, and they're going to launch this 932,000 miles into space, and its sole purpose is to look at planets that we deem habitable, life-sustaining planets, and to look at them a little bit closer than we can. 930,000 miles into space with 36 telescopes trained at them is way closer than being right from Earth and having to go through our atmosphere. and all
Right.
that.
Interesting.
So that's $668 million just for a single program to look for life in outer space. That's pretty crazy.
Cool. I'm into
Plus, speaking of habitable planets, we found even more habitable planets this year. It seems like the news is full of headlines about this. More and more planets in that quote-unquote Goldilocks zone in a solar system where, from what we know, life to be able to be made, like where we are, there are these planets. And the biggest one, which we talked about on this show, was the solar system of TRAPPIST-1.
Yep.
We found an entire solar system that mirrors our own. The sun is way bigger than ours, but it has planets that could have life.
Where would we be? D or E?
We would be technically E, but they're saying that anything from C to E in this range, I'm sorry, C to F in this range, could technically hold life.
Wow.
We're not really sure because it's 40 million light years away.
That's so cool.
But yeah, again, breeds the answer or the question is: are there aliens out there? Is there alien life out there?
I think there, for me, yeah, there definitely has to be somewhere. The universe is so big. Have they come here?
Maybe
I don't
not.
know, man. I don't know.
It's such a, when you think of the length the universe has been around, which we think to be 400 billion years old.
It's got to be more than that.
Right. You've probably heard this analogy before. Like if you take a clock and say the entire 24 hours, or no, let's even full it out. Take a year calendar, 365 days of a year, right? And you take that, and that equals 400 plus billion years. That's the entire length of the universe is a year. January 1st to December 31st. The amount of time that human beings have been alive and, running around on planet Earth is at 11:59 and 58 seconds on December 31st on the calendar. So that puts it into perspective. Like if there's alien life out there, there's so much other time that they could have.
Yeah. So there's so much potential there. It's unlimited potential because not only are we looking at habitable planets now, you're talking about habitable planets that have been happening
Forever.
within the last 400 billion years. It's
crazy.
definitely happened.
Yeah.
If it's happening right now, I don't know. Probably because obviously the universe is so big, we probably have so many solar systems like this.
Right.
And yeah, there's probably life. Is it plant? Is it animal?
Right.
Is it cellular? Does it look like us? Will it look like us? Does it work on a different dimension?
Right.
Like there's so many things. We just think it's another thing with arms and legs and a mouth and it's going to talk to us. No. The chances of that happening are just minute fractions.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm starting to like space a little bit now, Jeff. I think 2018 is going to be a new year.
There you go. Also, just in November of 2017, just a few months ago, NASA actually discussed how planets like Neptune, the moons of Jupiter like Europa, and even once a planet, not anymore, poor Pluto out there, could hold life in our own solar system. Neptune and Pluto have very icy exteriors, but we have no idea what's underneath them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And the moon of Jupiter, Europa, which we've actually talked about on the show as well, has actual seismic activity on it underneath its icy shell. So that means that could breathe life. There could be a heat source underneath the ice that could be heating in a giant ocean filled with microscopic organisms. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or giant sea monsters. Who knows?
Who knows? That'd be weird.
Even another thing we talked about on this show that bred a lot of alien talk was we just got our first ever evidence of an interstellar object coming into our solar system, and it was this asteroid that looks like a big old Tic Tac. But upon further analysis, we found out that there was an inch or so layer of carbon encasing this asteroid that's not from our solar system.
Is Superman inside?
Right? But the thing is we know what's the building block of life as we know it. Carbon. So this is something from way in the farther reaches of space where we have no idea where it originated, yet it could have either came in contact with life or at least has a building block of it, at least in our recollection of it. So it's very, very cool to just go down that rabbit hole because 2017 had a lot to do with the idea of aliens. And do you guys believe in aliens?
Yeah, I'm curious. What do you guys think?
I
crazy.
100% also believe, just like when we got to, and we always bring her up because we love her, but when we got to talk with astronaut Nicole Stott, we asked her that question. I mean, someone who's literally been in space, spent many, many days on the International Space Station looking out the window, We were like, do you believe in alien life? And she said the same thing. She's like, I feel like it's irresponsible not to. Statistically thinking.
I truly believe that in our lifetime, we will discover something that will make us go, oh, we were so stupid. There's life everywhere. We just didn't even know how to look for it. And I think that'll be a possibility within our lifetime.
I do too.
I think there's just a missing puzzle piece, and once we plop that in there, we're going to be finding life everywhere.
And again, I don't know if we'll ever see a big old flying saucer flying over the trees, or anything, but that might not be a crazy idea either.
It's a little crazy.
But it's great that not only is the romantic idea of aliens making headlines, but the actual real world thing of like agencies like SpaceX, European Space Agency, NASA, they're actually looking for evidence, any evidence.
I have a thought. If, let's say, we do start finding life in our universe.
Okay.
And at this point, we have the technology to travel to that location.
Mm-hmm.
And if there is life forms far inferior to us, would we go visit them?
Right.
And what would our contact be?
Right.
How deep would we put our hands in the cookie jar? Because if you put that in perspective, if there was aliens that were visiting us, that's probably how they would treat us.
Of course, and that's the old argument on one of my favorite shows on the History Channel, Ancient Aliens. It's the old argument, like, if alien life actually visited Earth, what if they visited Earth way back in our past and it visited the Egyptians?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But then spin that argument right on its head. And like you said, what if we find a planet that their life forms are advanced to that point? So we are the ancient aliens.
Yeah.
Visiting them at their Egyptian period.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you deal with that?
Because you don't want to fuck everything up for them. You show them technology.
Right.
You show them how to build a gun.
Right.
Somebody with an automatic weapon in an Egyptian type landscape would be tragic. It would be horrible.
Right.
We would in that kind of contact could fuck up a whole planet entirely.
Yeah, a whole solar system.
Who knows?
I don't know, but it's fun to think about.
Alien Dustin would not want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I don't think we'll ever have any contact with aliens.
You can, though, and this will be the last thing I say as the nerd in me pokes out. You can have contact with aliens because today, as this show is coming out on January 3rd, the new season of The X-Files is now out. So if you want a little bit of fun entertainment, wow, that just made you angry. I like The X-Files. It's okay.
This is the science segment, Jeff.
All right. Keep
the
You're
X-Files
right.
out of it.
You're right. Okay.
What fuels you?
So
It better not be the X-Files.
it's not. So this week we got to talk to executive producer Brian Volk-Weiss.
Who was awesome, by the
Who
way.
was awesome. And one of the things he talked about when we asked him what fueled him, which I thought was cool, was the love of creation. And we've talked about creating on the show a bunch. Both D-Man and myself not only create this show every week for you guys, but we're musicians, we're writers. You know, we've done a lot of creative things in our lives. But not just the act of creating, which we've done as a What Fuels You before, but this is like what Brian was talking about was the rush you get from having an idea, something that's just doesn't exist, and you make it, you create it, you make it exist. And then hopefully someone else enjoys it. You cook them food, or you write them a song, or you write a book, or whatever it is, whatever you created, someone else consumes that and then says how much they enjoyed it. And then that rush, that is something that I think fuels me. Like,
Absolutely.
let's bring it as meta as possible. I love it when somebody randomly will contact me and say, you know, hey, I caught a specific episode of the podcast, or I saw you guys on Facebook Live, you know, doing the show, or I caught, you know, your interview with so-and-so on YouTube, and it was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. And, like, right there, I can like clock out for the day. I'm like, I can go to, I'm good, you know, like that is such an endorphin rush. And it's like, I'm not saying it's the entire reason I do this, but creation in itself is rewarding to create anything. But if you are passionate about it, someone else is going to see that passion. They're going to feel that passion.
I've talked about it this way before, but I've always liked the idea of the fact that when you create something that has never existed before, you are in some way becoming godlike.
Yes.
Right?
For sure.
And then the next step is when somebody appreciates the thing that you have created that has never existed before and validates that, yes, this is a real thing and I enjoy it, it makes you feel like a more powerful God.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. I mean, again, it's a weird thing to say. I'm not saying that what fuels us this week is creating something for the accolade.
No.
You know, like, I don't want to make a movie to get an Oscar. I don't want to write a song to get a gold record. I'm not looking for that, but I am looking to create, personally speaking, I'm looking to create something that I feel passionate about. Even a show like this, I'm passionate about every week, being able to talk about science and what fuels us, and even just having fun, shouting out birthdays and roasting things. When I'm done with it, it's something that didn't exist before, and now it does, and I feel good about it. And then that added bonus of somebody hopefully enjoying it on some level like I did,
Right.
is just, there's nothing like it. I can't even put into words.
Well, to put a little bit of a different spin on that, we're on this earth, right? And one thing that I like to focus on is, if you're not going to make it a better place, at least make it a little bit more interesting. And when somebody enjoys the thing that you created, you have therefore made the world a better place in a very little way.
Yeah.
And if 1 million people enjoy the thing that you created, and the thing that you created is making their lives more interesting, or even a further step better, a higher quality of life, then you are doing your due diligence and your duty as a good human.
Yeah, and it can be as small, it can be the smallest thing in the world that can touch one person.
Yeah.
But just that, something that you created that touched that one single person.
Who knows what that person will go on to create after that?
Exactly. Makes the world a better place. And that is completely cyclical and goes right back to exactly what this show is all about.
It's not a vain perspective of like, oh, I just want people to like my shit. It's
Right.
like, no, I want to make something that people like because it makes their quality of life better, and then they pass on that higher quality of life to the next generation.
Right. We are all fueled by death.
Community shout out.
All right, so community shout out this week. I think you're gonna like this one, D-Man. I was scouring the internet, and this guy actually, I believe, is a fairly new to the company, but was posting about us, loving the product, and he's also a beast. Community shout out this week, Philip Herndon. There he is. He is a competitive power lifter, and I thought that was interesting because you're not getting into the competing, but you're getting into powerlifting
Yeah, I'm
a
getting
little
into
bit.
powerlifting now, and seeing the numbers that this guy puts up
Yeah.
makes me feel like a little puny wimp because
I've got a little video too here for you guys of him, but yeah, a bench personal record. He just posted his bench personal record of 415 pounds.
that's gigantic.
That's one rep on that. That's
gigantic.
yeah, that's
To
huge.
give you some perspective, my puny PR is 155 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
But the big one, and that's the video that I'm showing you, is his squat. Philip,
Dude,
your
this is
squat
insane.
personal record, 605 pounds at 5 reps.
that's insane.
That's insane. That's awesome. So I hope you win all the awards and
Think of
all
that,
the accolades.
605 pounds 5 times. That's like a small car
Yeah.
on your back.
Yeah.
And then you're going down into a squat position and then standing back up.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's just nuts. It's just
Woo.
nuts. So, like I said, a community shout out is all about obviously loving the brand, but having the brand make you do something awesome. And man, Philip, I hope that Death Wish Coffee is fueling you to lift some of these heavy weights because it's pretty rad.
I've always liked to say that Death Wish is the strongest natural pre-workout.
We are the world's strongest coffee.
Yeah. So I hope, Philip, you keep on kicking ass. I know you're going to keep on kicking
Yeah.
ass. And I hope we're helping you along the way.
Mugs up. Philip
Cheers.
Herndon. So, this week, before we keep going with the show, we just want to let you guys know something. We got through a full first season. We're now into 2018, right? Smack dab in the beginning of our second season of this show, and we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear about what you're liking about the show. We've changed the show a couple times in the last season. We did, we started out as just a measly little audio podcast that you could find on.
Two guys sitting around a ping pong table.
Yeah, when we started out, it was really on like Stitcher and iTunes, and that was it. But now we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Podbean, Google Music, anywhere you can find podcasts, basically. But we're also doing way more video. I mean, you're watching this show right now, so you know that. On Facebook Live. You can also find all of the video of every show, including the video of the podcast that has the interview with every single week's guest on our YouTube channel, on Death Wish Coffee's YouTube channel. And we're just curious. We're going to send out in the email this week, starting tomorrow, we're going to send out an email to hopefully anybody out there who has clicked on the podcast before will get a survey on what you think. What you think about this? We're very curious. We're always trying to better this. We know that there is a lot of potential for this show, and we can't thank you guys enough for watching, tuning in every week, listening. But we really want to know if there's, what you're liking. If do you like the video more than the audio? Are there places we're not on the internet yet that you'd like to see us, like to be able to consume it? Just let us know. So that'll hopefully be in your email starting tomorrow.
Some birthdays this week, Jeff.
Yeah, we got some death wishes, some happy birthdays to some fun people. Thursday, January 4th, I'm going to get his name wrong because I can never pronounce names right. Till Lindemann, I believe, right? Lindemann?
I just call him the Du Hast guy.
Yes. He is the singer of Rammstein. The incredible Du Hast guys out there. They are nuts. Like, they look like this on stage with crazy stage performance all the time. I've seen them once. absolutely nuts. But he'll be celebrating a very happy birthday, 55 years old,
Wow.
on January 4th. Another crazy rocker on Friday, January 5th, Marilyn Manson, who had a little bit of a rough end of 2017 when
What'd he do?
his
yeah,
stage
some
fell
shit
on him.
fell on him.
He's
That sucks.
okay, but that sucks.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah, he's going to be 49 years old. This is the album
Yeah.
that I think I wore out. Antichrist Superstar, man.
Isn't it funny how Marilyn Manson hit it perfectly. Where you get everybody to be like, all the adults and all the schools are like, don't listen to this. You can't. It's too gross. He's worshiping the devil.
They blamed
pulling
the
out his own
Columbine
ribs and
shooting
blowing
on him.
himself. Yeah.
It was crazy. You're right. Perfect storm of shock rock.
What a marketing genius.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about Marilyn Manson.
And I really enjoyed this record.
I didn't enjoy it at the time. I actually like it a little bit better now as an adult.
Yeah. I still rock it. Two birthdays actually coming up on Saturday, January 6th. First, one of our favorites. There he is, and we're actually with him in this photo, Norman Reedus. He is Daryl on The Walking Dead. And he was such a sweetheart.
He
when we
was.
met
He was
him in
so cool.
Nashville, along with Jeffrey Dean Morgan there at the Walker Stalker convention. Hopefully, we get to run into him maybe in 2018 again. But another one of my favorites that has seemed to win to the wayside because anything anybody ever talks about him is The Walking Dead nowadays. But boy, do I love this movie. Boondock Saints, man, it's just such a good just action flick. And as good as Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery are in this movie, William Dafoe.
I know. Willem Dafoe's the man.
So good in this movie.
When he's like listening to the music in his head and he's like figuring out the crime scene.
so good. I watch this movie once a year. It's
I love that slow motion scene where he's dressed up as a woman.
Oh yeah.
And he blows a dude away and his cheeks flop and it's amazing. It's such a great flick.
It's really, really a great flick. So happy birthday to Norman. Also Saturday, January 6th, Kate McKinnon. Very, very funny lady. She's going to be 34 years old.
I don't know who that is.
She is on SNL.
Oh.
And then, in fact, this is one of my favorite characters of her. I forget the actual name of this character, but it's the character that always gets abducted by aliens. And the aliens always do some really risque things to her. And it's very, very funny. But she does a ton of different people. She was Hillary Clinton on SNL forever during the election. Yeah. She's Kellyanne Conway all the time now with the Trump administration. Very, very funny. She was in the new Ghostbusters as well, the all-female Ghostbusters.
Didn't watch that one. Don't plan to. Ever.
Monday, January 8th, a very, very happy birthday to Stephen Hawking. One of the smartest men
watch that movie?
in the world. Yeah.
I
yeah,
meant to.
It's very good.
I
It's
gotta
very
watch that
good.
movie.
Eddie Redmayne does a very good
What's the
job.
name of it again?
Oh man,
I'm sorry, dude.
I'm sorry. I'm having a brain fart. Put it in the comments. The Stephen Hawking movie. What is it? The Theory of Everything.
You got
Is
it.
it?
I don't know.
Something close. I'm close. But he's going to be 76 years old. Here's a photo of him with his first wife, actually, before
you
his
got
disease.
it, Theory of Everything.
Yeah, before his disease confined him to his chair. But what an incredible mind. One of my favorite Stephen Hawking theorems that he has is the multi-world theorem.
Yeah, the multiverse. Yeah.
You know, the Schrodinger's cat. You've heard that before. You know, if you put a cat in a box and close the box, is the cat dead or alive? He's both, because you don't know, because you can't see him.
Yeah.
So there's two options, or is there no options? And Hawking has taken that and been like, you know, those actually create the idea of the parallel universe. You know, in one universe, the cat is alive, but in the other universe, the cat is dead. But then extrapolate that even farther, and there are infinite amount of universes where the cat is alive and an infinite amount of universes where the cat is dead. I love it. You can really go down a rabbit hole with that kind of
Breaks
stuff.
my brain.
Finally, Tuesday, January 9th, one of the greatest guitarists of all time, Jimmy Page. There he is, 74 years old, still kicking. Obviously, if you don't know who Jimmy Page is, shame on you, because Led Zeppelin is one of the greatest rock and roll bands.
One of?
Yes, one of the greatest rock and roll bands in the world.
One of?
Yes, I mean, it goes like Aha, Led Zeppelin. I'm just kidding. I know. In your mind, Led Zeppelin is probably the best.
Oh, in my mind. Thank you for placating me, Jeff. It is a fact that Led Zeppelin is the best rock band to ever touch this whole entire universe.
Wow. You heard it here first, guys.
Aliens and everything.
All right. Do you think Jimmy Page is an alien?
No.
No? Just an amazing human being who can make a guitar do whatever he wants.
Yeah, probably.
It's awesome.
I think he also had some dark arts in the mix.
I think so, too. I definitely think
Devil worshiper.
All right.
I smell a roast.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So this week on the
Come
roast, it's funny, when we're looking for roast topics, they always kind of stem from the same pool of things that'll piss us off.
Pop culture.
Pop culture, movies, television shows, music,
Usually the thing that everybody's doing and everybody's like, why the fuck are they doing that?
fashion, and this week it just happens to be fashion. We did a very fun one a while back when we had Alyssa, our content manager,
The
on.
onesie there, what's that called? The romper.
The male romper, yeah.
The
if you
romp
want-
him.
Yeah, if you want to go back and listen to that episode. But this is something that's been around for a while, but it's really starting to piss me off because I'm seeing it everywhere, and I just don't understand it. The idea of pre-distressed clothing. Now, what I'm getting at is, like the picture that I just put up, it's going into a store and buying, like, say, a pair of jeans that have holes in them already. I've never really understood this, but it's been around for a while. Fashion designer, actually, Vivienne Westwood, and if you don't know who she is one of the most iconic fashion designers out there. She is probably the godmother of all of this, because she made distressed clothing fashionable back in the 70s and 80s. In fact, she had her hand in dressing bands like the Sex Pistols. Like, you look at the Sex Pistols and you think, oh, they just rolled out of bed. Granted, when they first were getting, shows and stuff like that, yes, that's exactly how they dressed. But when they got a record deal and they were everywhere, just like any musician or any rock star or celebrity or anything, you get clothes picked out for you. You start to be a little bit more fashionable. But she did this whole punk rock fashion to new heights. So it's been out there forever. But this whole idea of pre-distressed clothing has taken this turn that But I mean, like, really, what is wrong with you to go into a store and buy things like this?
I have an even bigger complaint, Jeff. The problem is now, I don't know when is the last time you went jean shopping, but I can't find a pair of jeans that doesn't have
the whiskers.
The fake, like, wear lines. Like, I wear my jeans enough. I don't need a head start on making them look ruined.
Yeah.
They'll build character on your own clothes. Don't buy clothes that already have character. That's ridiculous.
That's a great comment, too, is buying clothes that have this fake character to them. And here's one.
You're a poser. I said it. You're a fucking poser.
This will piss you off, D-Man. Nordstrom, okay? They are a high-end clothing store. They started selling pre-mudded jeans.
Oh, no.
This is fake mud on their jeans and on
if
their
you're
jean
buying
jacket.
This, you're gross. Does it stink, too?
No, it's just fake.
Not only does it look like horseshit, it smells like horseshit.
$425.
Stop!
$425 for that pair of jeans with fake mud on it, when you can go and buy a $60 pair of Levi's and go roll around in a mud puddle.
Let me tell you, if you're buying these jeans, just shit yourself.
Yeah.
Just shit yourself and muddy your own jeans. That's what I say.
I thought this was a great quote. When Nordstrom came out with this in 2017, Mike Rowe, who was the narrator on every show on the Discovery Channel ever, and also
Dirty
famous
Jobs.
for doing the show Dirty Jobs, which was a great show when he was doing it. This was his quote. He notes that the jeans foster the illusion of work, the illusion of effort. They're a costume for wealthy people who see work as ironic.
I mean, the idea of jeans in the first place are that.
Right.
Because
you put on jeans to go to work.
yeah. Yeah, and in fact,
Think of the cowboy.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, like I gotta go work on the ranch. I'm gonna put my jeans on.
I know when jeans first got popular, other countries were looking at Americans being like, look at these guys wear these work clothes as fashion.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Right.
I
don't understand. So that's not where it ends. Prepare to get even more angry because fashion designer Mason Margella created a distressed high-top sneaker. Here's a picture of it. It looks like my dog ate this sneaker, and they sold these by the pair for $1,425.
You're an asshole.
You're an asshole if you bought
Holy
these. And I know nobody out there is watching this bought these. But $1,425 for this distressed high-top sneaker. And finally,
That's not distress. That's a piece of shit.
Yes, and before you even have a chance to breathe, my final example is from literally October of this past year. During Tokyo Fashion Week, a designer, put out these called thong jeans. These jeans look like this person has been hit by a bus and dragged for blocks.
I like those.
Tune in next week when Tune in next week when Dustin will be modeling these thong jeans. But I don't what the actual fuck, D-Man? Like for real. Like how
it goes around the ankles.
It's literally mind-blowing at this point. Tony Glenville, who is the creative director at the London College of Fashion.
Can you guys believe this shit? This is insane.
I can't believe it. He said, I think now people are looking at really distressed clothes that are filthy or with oil or mud stains or shoes that look like they've been through a cattle drive. I think it's to really make a statement. He says, it is very hard to shock anybody. We've done fashion shoots on car crashes even. What else do you do? Perhaps the idea of wallowing in filth and actually getting your hands dirty is the biggest shock for the fashionistas you can imagine. Now, here's the question I pose to you, D-Man.
Some Hunger Games shit.
Do you think that this is becoming a thing because of social media? Because you can't shock people anymore? Because fashion isn't... It used to be you'd get your magazine, like... let's use Playboy as an example. Now, I know there's naked people in Playboy, but also, there's clothed people in Playboy, and that's where the high-end photo shoots of people very fashionable in clothes, in your really high-end kind of magazines. That's where you'd find it. Now, fashion's everywhere. There's Instagram, sites that are just only fashion, Facebook, Twitter, that kind of thing. Do you think because there's no shock value, because everybody's seen everything, just like that guy said, they've done fashion shoots on car crashes, that now we resort to this to sell clothing?
I have a fun analogy for you. And we're going to go back to clickbait.
Okay.
If an article is based on being shock and awe and clickbaity and not about the news inside, it's not news. Just like if fashion is based around just getting you to look at it because it is so shocking and not based around actual content and looking good and being interesting, it's not fashion to me, period. And I'm not like a fashion expert or like a fashion lover. To me, it seems like if you're just going off of just what is the most reactive and not the true essence of fashion, you're doing it wrong. You're just getting the clicks, and what you're doing is just a fad, and it's going to fade, and it's not going to last.
It's
agree.
Not true. And I mean,
this is fake fucking news. That's what I'm saying, Jeff. This is fake news.
I agree with it, but I mean, it is an actual, like, these companies that put out these products made a profit on them. They're actually selling these products. You're seeing people, like, I know at different red carpet events, you'd see people like Paris Jackson showed up with distressed clothing on, and she was touting this whole line. Kanye West's entire line of clothing is built around this kind of idea, and people go out and buy it. I think it's borderline downfall of society type shit. I really do. I mean, you want to talk about other countries laughing at us. You know, the people in, let's use like, you know, Europe or Asia, they do not have this as a fashion. This isn't their, like.
Well, you did say that one fashion show was in Tokyo, so.
Right. You're right. But it's like Fashion Week in New York. It's just where it was.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think they're catering more to dumb Americans, right?
I don't think they are. I've seen a lot of weird Japanese fashion like this. I think this is I think it's a financial class situation. You get really rich, like really uppity people that are like, oh, look, you dress like a poor person. It's so fashionable. And you're gonna get that. It's a class thing. It's not a country thing, I believe.
All right. Well,
let me know what you think.
Yeah, I don't.
Tell
like
me
it.
I'm wrong. I dare you.
I don't like it. I think it should stop. I think people, if they want to get mud on their jeans, they should go get mud on their jeans. They shouldn't buy fake mudded jeans.
Or go back to my former advice. Just shit yourself.
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
Okay.
This week we have Death Wish Shat jeans available.
That's not true. That's not true. But what do we got this week, D-Man?
Okay, so I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but we are rolling out our year-long subscription. That means you pay one flat fee.
Yeah.
And you get coffee all year. You don't have to worry about it.
Yep, it's a month-to-month subscription, obviously, that you can do on the normal, but this way, and I think not only is it cool to just be like one and done, like, okay, I bought my year-long subscription, I don't have to worry about it anymore, but it's also like, you know what Dustin would really like for his birthday? A coffee subscription for a year, so I can go and literally buy it for you for a year, and then, you know, no fuss, no muss.
How cool is that? That person not only is thankful at that moment when they get that gift, but every month when they have that coffee show up and they don't even think about it and it shows up, they're thinking of you because you did that. Good job.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It really does. It really is.
Yeah.
It's kind of really cool.
It took us a little bit to roll this out because it's, again, you know, a lot of what we do with Death Wish is never been done before. Like, you know, on our online store, we create a lot of what you're able to buy or to manipulate on our site. We create that from the ground up. We have developers creating this kind of stuff. So this took a little bit of time, but we're really proud of it. And hopefully if it's something that you guys want to, you know, get as a gift for yourself or for other people, you have that option now.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, will you get this for me?
Yes.
I'm holding you to
for your
it.
birthday.
I have video evidence.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Anyways, tomorrow.
Yes.
We're starting our clearance sale.
Yes.
It's going to be very cool. There's a lot of things that we've had sitting around, or maybe we let out as a freebie and you didn't get it. You'll be able to buy it during this clearance sale.
Yeah.
Also, we'll have some items highly discounted.
Yep.
So if you haven't gotten certain things, maybe this might be the time to do it. But it's the end of the year. We're looking at our inventory. We want to get rid of some shit, and you can benefit from it.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe tomorrow when the clearance sale's going, maybe I'll convince marketing to do maybe like a Facebook Live, and you guys can tune in again tomorrow, and we'll run down some of those products.
Sounds like
because
fun.
It's about getting it out the door, because 2018 is here, and we're very excited.
We got to make some room
for a brand new year of exciting stuff and a lot more merchandise and cool things that we're going to give you.
A whole lot more.
We have so many things. I've been bombarded with so many ideas and cool things that we've got in the works that might happen, might not happen. So can't really talk about much, but the one thing that you guys always ask us about, and we're just going to let you know, mugs. Obviously, we're doing more mugs this year. The Valhalla 2018 mug has been out for a little bit. The hammer that you're excited about, the 2018 Death Wish mug, that's coming right around the corner. But our first, limited run mug, I guess you'd say, and we've done it the last couple of years, so it's not a surprise, is going to be the Valentine's Day mug. That's coming out. That's coming out. I mean, this is coming out in the beginning of January, but we're going to blink and it's going to be February. You know what I mean? So get ready, obviously, for that Valentine's Day mug.
And this will be unique in a very cool way, and I'm very excited. This is going to be a mug set.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a very limited amount.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to do something different this time for Valentine's Day, and we're going to allow you guys to purchase a mug set so you and your Valentine can both have a vessel to drink Death Wish
Or
coffee
maybe
out
you
of.
can just get 2 mugs.
Yes, and have double fist it. That'd be even better.
Very cool. Thomas came up with not only the design on the medallion, but he also came up with the color design, the color schemes, and I'm very excited for both. Wait until you guys see this.
Yes,
It'll be
and
very
if
cool.
you guys continue to pay attention to this show, listen to the podcast, watch us on Facebook Live and on YouTube, as soon as we have the ability to show you those mugs when they're because they're getting made right now.
Yeah.
When they're done, we'll leak it to you right on this show.
And as I was saying earlier about the new and improved mug box, this will be the first mug released in that box.
Excellent.
So you will be getting your Valentine's Day mug.
You didn't have to
brand new
design
box.
a double box, did you?
No.
Okay, so you're gonna get 2 boxes.
You're gonna get 2 boxes. They're
Nice.
both gonna be. So the thing about the mug boxes this year is that they will be made custom for each mug.
Which is very cool.
So on your Valentine's Day mug box, you'll have a little story about like what the origin is, what the idea is. It'll have the medallion on the outside of the box, make it a little bit more unique, protect it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's going to look very cool, nice, glossy, awesome box. I can't wait for this.
And we just came out with a blog that
I like the way you say blog.
Blog
that
chronicles all of the Deneen mugs we've made throughout the years. And if you look closely at that blog, you can start to see a trend of, the times that we make. Like I said, it's no surprise we're making a Valentine's Day mug. We've done it before. So you can kind of have an idea. We'll definitely throw some surprises to you guys, but you can kind of have an idea of what mugs will be coming out this year.
So speaking of surprises and clearance sales and past mugs,
Okay.
I will say that I know for sure, being the inventory manager, that there has been some mugs that have sold out that we have a few left over.
Ooh.
And will be available on the clearance sale. So mug collectors, be ready for this clearance sale. I know that like some mugs I only have like 5 of.
There you go. So tomorrow,
20.
January 4th, clearance sale.
It's gonna be a blast.
It's gonna be a blast, and we'll put a pin in it for now. Tune in next week for more Death Wish news.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is so much fun. And the first show of 2018, let's get a high five in.
Woo! Yeah. First show of 2018 is in the bag. Last time, guys, share this feed. Comment shared in the comments. We're going to pick one lucky winner at random. We'll sign the bottom of this mug, and you'll get one of the final 2017 mugs that there are in existence.
For some reason, when there's very limited amount of mugs, I just want to smash it.
We should start to do that on the show. We should be like, share this for a smash.
Too late.
But thanks for watching, guys. Look for your emails. Hopefully some of those surveys will go out, and we can get your feedback on the show. And tune into the podcast tomorrow, episode 56, The Toys That Made Us with Brian Volk-Weiss. It's such a cool conversation with him because as an executive producer, he had his hands in a little bit of everything about this show, and it's a lot of fun. And if you grew up anywhere between the 50s through the 80s and played with action figures or toys or Barbies or whatever, it's really cool. The first 4 episodes are on Netflix right now, so you can see it, and they are about Star Wars toys, Barbie, G.I. Joe, and He-Man. Those are the first 4 episodes. But we reveal the next 4 in our podcast, and then hopefully they get even more seasons because there's just so many cool toy lines out there. It's a lot of fun. Tune into that tomorrow, and we'll see you guys next week.
Cheers.
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 This has been Fueled by Deathcast, a Death Wish Coffee Company podcast production. Thanks for listening.